is, folks. Our last evening program of the entire season. No, say it isn't so. No more constant fun. No more Gary food. No more rainy day program. What are we gonna do? Go back to school, boo. Barricade the doors. Barricade the doors. Barricade the doors. 3 more weeks. Well, thank you guys for a great session, a great season. Some of you have been here for 7 weeks. Some of you for 3, 5. It's been a lot of fun. And thank you for your flexibility in today's schedule, as we will be having our banquet a little bit later due to the fact that AmeriGas, our propane company, forgot about us and we ran out of the ability to cook. So anyway, the kids have had a light sandwich, a quick sandwich to tie us over, and then we'll proceed from here to the dining hall. Welcome guests, parents, grandparents, great to see you all, alumni, and thank you really so much for sharing your child with us. We've had really an excellent season. I'd like to have PK, our program director, and Goose, our assistant director, come on down, boys.
Yeah. Okay.
Can't do it without everybody here, but these guys are my right-hand men who really help make things click every single day. And yeah.
I came prepared this year.
My left shoe's getting a little worn out. That's how you do that every day to get these guys motivated. But anyway, you guys ran a great program. What do you have to say for yourself?
Well, last night we had our carnival night with Gold Rush in the afternoon. We also did a few things off camp this session.
Should we get rid of carnival night?
No!
Just checking, just doing a survey. Just checking.
Speaking of eating an enormous amount of candy, the units also went to Fisher Cats, the Manchester Fisher Cats, to supposedly watch baseball, although it might have mostly been gorging themselves on candy and hot dogs. The seniors went to Hilltop for some laser tag and go-kart racing, which I know Luke had a great time at. Juniors this session took a lovely trip onto Winnipesaukee on Cow Island. Surprisingly, no cows there. Shocker. And then the Middlers, they had a nice little film festival that we watched the other day during a nice rainy day. If anyone understands the plots of those.
I edited all 4 of them, and I'm still working them out in my head. So, again, something we'll post up on YouTube for you guys to decide upon. So, bearing in mind they came up with the content, just want to make sure I get that disclaimer out. We also tried something brand new this year.
Yeah, during this last week, rather than having individuals be assigned to particular classes, units would be assigned to particular areas of the knoll. So for instance, the seniors would be at the knoll where they could be using the challenge course, either high ropes or the tower. They could also be shooting shotguns down at Skeet, doing wilderness skills, while another unit would be up on our athletic fields playing a sport where they'd have the option of changing that sport whenever they wanted to. It was all based off of what they wanted to do at that very moment. And lastly, another unit could be down at the waterfront while sailing. Juniors were allowed to use some junior tubing. There was also some fishing going on, and I believe snorkeling.
Yeah, snorkeling was quite popular this year. Very popular.
We also traveled over to FDL for our rifle match and dance, and of course, keeping to tradition, we won the dance! Yeah! It was a no contest thing, absolutely. Way to go, guys. Way to go. Good job.
We also had Olympic Day in the Apache Relay, with mountains coming up on top on both of those.
We also tried something new this year. We, of course, have done some major overhauls to our Honor Society. We said goodbye to the Native American theme, but pretty much everything else sort of stayed intact. We've improved a few things. Of course, we have 4 houses now instead of 4 tribes, and we have a lot of course, tests, and we have 3 different levels now, which you'll hear a little bit more a little bit later. And that's, of course, you'll see that in a lot of the video and photos that are coming home. The House of Lakes, House of Forests, House of Mountains, House of Rivers, so there's a lot there.
All right, so this evening we're going to honor and award folks for instance, living up to the values of camp, longevity at camp. And first of all, PK is going to talk a little bit about our BROG program.
Alright, so as mentioned, we got rid of the Native American names and went with the blue team being the House of Lakes. The red team was the House of Mountain. The orange team, not the House of Orange, the House of Rivers. And finally, green was the House of Forests. Throughout the session, we had a variety of competitions from rub, duck, and dive. We had counselor hunt thrown in there. Obviously, Olympic Day. It was a pretty close one throughout the entirety of the session. But following Olympic Day, one team kind of took that day by storm, took the lead, and was able to go ahead and remain ahead through the GSR and the ping pong-a-thon, and that team would be the House of Mountains. Alright, so can the House of Mountains please come on down? Woo!
Fix that hair right there.
Congratulations, guys.
Just on a final note on BROG, could the 4 captains please stand up?
Please stand up. Please stand up. Okay, man.
Sorry, Brendan, you're being blocked right now. These 4 gentlemen, if Grondin, Brendan, Lyle, and Cole, these 4 gentlemen set the tone for how BROG will be done since we changed up the names. These are the first captains that we've had for second session, and these 4 did a really excellent job of leading their team. So I think these 4 guys need a special round of applause. Thank you, guys.
We do have plenty of room if people want to come down. If you're comfortable sitting on the wall, that's fine. But, okay. All right, thank you, PK. Thank you for running a great program this session.
Thank you, PK.
This is his first year. All right, PK, what was your first year as a camper?
1998.
1998. And he
Old
went
man,
right through.
take a look at my life. I'm a lot like you.
Thanks for the Neil Young tribute.
He went right through his 15-year-old years as a camper and then took off on us for 7 or 8 years or something. Sabbatical. And has been with us 3 out of the last 4 years and is expected to be here for many years to come as he pursues a teaching career. We're working hard to get him a job at the local high school to keep him very handy. All right, thank you, PK. One of the things that's really special about camp and really important to camp is loyalty, longevity, and we see that consistently through the years where kids come here, they stick through their camper years like PK, and then often move on to staff roles. And most of our staff are people that were campers here once upon a time. And there are a couple of milestones along that journey. One is what we call a Bill Larry Boy, and if you've been here for 5 years, you have entered the club called Bill Larry Boys. And if you've been here for 10 years, you're a Bill Larry Man. And we have some tokens of appreciation and mementos for those who have become Bill Larry Boys and Bill Larry Men. But first I'd like to call down those who are Bill Larry Men. So that would include PK, Thomas Cleary, Jack Hilder, and Scott Goose Eastman. Sometimes I like to refer to him as F. Scott Fitzkeastman. Most of the campers wouldn't understand. So, Jack, 11th year, Jack Hilder, New York City. Alex Camarino, what year?
11.
11 from Chichester, New Hampshire. PK, 11 from Newbury, Massachusetts. Thomas, 13 from Bow, New Hampshire. And Scott Giesler, number
24.
24. Oh my God, look at him.
One more, get a free set of steak knives. It's gonna be great. How many for you, Nat Crane?
Well, that's a lot of steak knives. Yeah, I'm just behind Goose, 23 years. So anyway, you guys are going to, let me get this up for To honor the milestone of becoming a Bill Larry Boy, you get several things, at least 2 things. One is you get a framed patch. The year, and the patch that says Bill Larry Boy. But something, and that goes on your dresser, someplace prominent in your house. And then you also get a very nice t-shirt, William Lawrence Camp t-shirt that says, Bill Larry Boy. All right, how about that? Jeez. Nice. All right, so there's a number of you guys tonight, and my Bill Larry men here are going to call you up and acknowledge your milestones. So we'll start with whoever you want to start with.
Yeah. Can I get Cole Cameron down here? Give him a big round of applause, guys. Is it safe? It's totally safe. Cole, in his 5th year, of course, and doing an amazing job at it. Is one of the seniors that I know is going to make a fantastic counselor one day. He's got a lot of maturity and he shows a lot of responsibility here. He, of course, hails from Japan, as everybody knows, and is an expert in demolitions. But his big love is water skiing, which is actually true. How many times have you water skied this month? 6. Okay. All right. Which trips did you go on this year?
The Androscoggin River trip and the Mount Washington hike.
What do you love most about camp?
Goose Eastman.
Yeah. Besides me. Yeah. You'll get your $20 later.
I want my friends.
Okay. You want to give a big wave right now? They're all very proud of you. So. Well, Cole, thank you very much for the loyalty to the camp. We appreciate having you here. It's been a real joy so far. And here's to 5 more. Congratulations.
Can I get Alex Grondin down here? I've had Alex in my cabin 3 times, I think. Is that right? Yeah. And so Alex and I are very well acquainted. Alex is a real well-rounded camper, and you see him really all. There are some people who just stick to their area, but Alex is all over camp all the time, and he's finding success everywhere he goes. He's always surrounded by friends, and my favorite thing about him is how he can make friends with anyone. He can make anyone smile. Alex Grondin. Here's the 5 more. Tommy Wilkinson down.
One thing I have to say about Tommy and how he sticks out to, I would say, a lot of people at camp is his style. Every single day, you'll catch him dressed as nice as he possibly can without any effort at all. People will say, "Well, why are you dressed so nicely today?" And he'll just be like, "No, it's just my normal clothes." And it'll just be some vineyard vines and some Patagonia, just Sperry's every day. And so he just likes to look good all the time. And I say he doesn't fail to do so. So here's the 5 more for Tommy Wilson.
Can I get Morgan Sanford? Come on down. This is a guy that I got to know mostly because I had his brother in my cabin his first year. And what I can tell you that I learned in that brief interaction with him is how intensely loyal Morgan is to the people that he cares about, and what he's willing to do to help those people that he cares about succeed at whatever it is they're doing. He's one of the guys who, however he's feeling, is what the senior unit is doing. If he's one of the leaders of the unit, yeah, he's a loyal leader. So thank you very much.
All right, Morgan.
Can I get Alex Bieber down here, please? Alex, I think you did 3 years as a junior, and this is your second year as a middler, is that correct? Yeah. Yep, so I got to know Alex really well this year. He went on, I think, every single trip that you can go on as a middler. And I would say that you had a blast on all of them. He was always the first to sign up for the trip. Safe to say that's your favorite thing to do at camp? From up there. So Alex is always in a good mood. Definitely one of the leaders in his cabin and in his unit. And between trips and everything else that you enjoy at camp, I would say that you always have a good time here, and hope to see you for 5 more years. There you go.
All right, please get Evan Lamline down here, aka Evan Jamline. Come on down, pal. All right, so I've known Evan obviously for a few years now, but I saw a side of him this year that I can't say I've ever seen before as a video editor. So you'll have to watch Michael Jamline do his thing online. It's a pretty impressive performance that I think you'll enjoy. In addition to that, he's quite the runner. And I know this because he's run the general store a few times with me. With me is not really an accurate phrase. It's more like we get started together and I get to the stop sign and he's back up here from the general store. He's an incredibly fast and very fit young man, which is absolutely infuriating for me. But he is a presence here, all jokes aside, that we absolutely treasure. It is wonderful to have him around here. He's got such a great personality. And apparently he's quite the ping pong player, as we just discovered a little ways back. But you're a wonderful presence of the camp. Let me ask you, what's your favorite part of camp? Having fun. Well, he thought out answer. Thanks. Evan, thank you very much for a great 5 years so far, and we hope to get 5 more out of you at least. Thank you, pal.
Can I get Van Sissen down here? So Van was in my cabin his first year, and towards the beginning of his first year, had a little bit of trouble, feeling a little bit homesick, and we were a little bit worried for a while that he might not be a returner, that he might not have had as much fun at camp as he could have, we might not see him again. Obviously, we were incorrect. The tremendous growth we saw that year and in the past 5 years is really amazing, and he's kept coming back. He's really come into his own. He's got a great core group of friends, always surrounded by friends. Yeah, give him away, yeah. And Yeah, he's always smiling around camp, running around with his friends. It's great to see. Ben Sisson.
Yeah.
Can I get Andy DeWico down here? So, as you can hear, he's earned quite the reputation around camp. Another thing many know about DeWico is that he will be often caught without appropriate footwear. So, rarely will you catch him with a pair of socks and shoes, often with flip-flops. And the reason I bring this up is because I was having a little trouble coming up with something to say about DeWico, and I thought, why not just say about something that just happened? So he recently came back from the LIT trip, and with a full flapped laceration on the bottom of his foot because he was not wearing appropriate footwear as he went out in the middle of the night.
Public reprimand.
Yeah. So one thing to know about DeWico. But yeah, great guy. Come back for his LIT year. Doing great so far. Here's to another 5 years.
Can I get Brett Peters to come on down? If there's one guy at this camp that understands what it means to persevere through things, it is Brett Peters. He has overcome some things in his time at camp, and that makes me look up to him as an individual. Even though he is younger than me, his ability to handle things as they come and to see the better side of them is something that I think anyone, regardless of age, can learn from and take note of. It's something to be really proud of. Thanks, Brett. Hopefully another.
Can I get Tanisha down here, please? So I've gotten to know Tanisha really well this year, also through tripping. I plan all the trips, including all the food, and so I am constantly in her hair about getting food for this trip, getting food for that trip. And she has an amazing attitude about things because no matter how many times a day I go in there, and no matter how many times a week I go in there, she never seems to get mad at me for asking for more and more food and taking everything they need. But Tanisha also has an amazing attitude about everything around camp, which is why we love to have her here. And on top of that, she makes great food with Gary, so what's not to like?
Can I get Millen Zimmerman down here? Oh, excuse me. Did I get that wrong? I think I did.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Oh, no,
I got
it's
it.
good.
I got it. I got it. Did I steal one from you? Oh, I stole one from you. Okay, well, we'll trade. Okay, all right. Well, sorry. Millen Zimmerman. I mean, he's Millen Zimmerman. He's Millen Zimmerman. What are the Zimmermans here? Are the parents here? I just want to. All I want to say, if they're here, just well done. Just absolutely well done. We're going to steal all of them and bring them back to the Giesler household and have 7 children there for the 5 minutes my wife will let me in the door. Millen is just amazing. I mean, he's just such a great guy, happy personality, and apparently another really great ping pong player, as I just discovered up in the barn there. Just a wonderful presence in the senior unit, and we are so proud to have him here. And I'm going to ask the same question of you I've asked the other two. What's your favorite part about camp? Getting out of the house. Possibly a darker existence that he lives than I first gave him credit for. So, anyway, Millen, just absolutely, just great to have you here. We are so glad for the things that you give to your cabin and camp life. Here's to 5 more. Thanks, Bill.
Can I get Tommy Giesler up here? Right, you thought he was gonna do it, didn't you? Now the other guys I've introduced have been in my cabin before, but Tommy holds the record, and what I think might be a world record of having been in my cabin 4 times. Yeah, so Tommy and I have gotten to know each other very, very well over the past 5 years. And Tommy's just a great kid who really loves and encompasses everything about camp. He's got tremendous spirit. He's got great energy and has a really incredible sense of humor. Thank you, Tommy. Here's to many more.
Can I have Jamie McDonough up here, please? So, Jamie is the Miller unit leader this session. Stole my job. Yep. He also is the head of riflery. I like to think it's not quite as good as archery, but he might say differently. Maybe. I think let's see. You did 3 years as a camper, is that right? Yep. I was a counselor in 2009. Right. So that was my last year as a camper. And then he took a few years off and came back this year. So I would say we hope to have you around for many more years to come. Sure. And outlast most of us.
I get Brendan Baker down here. So this is Brendan Baker. You probably know him. You're here. I don't have a story to tell about Baker, but one thing I can say about Baker is that he's the most genuinely kind-hearted, warm-souled person here. Every time I see him, he has something great to say, and I think he really stands as a great role model as a senior for all the senior unit and all of camp, because he's a great camper overall, and just really anytime I see him, he's a great person to talk to, a great person to spend time with during free swim. Even today at archery, he was there at free swim, wasn't even shooting for most of the time, just a great guy to have around. So here's 5 more.
And Mason Zimmerman. In case you can't tell by, well, now he's not smiling for once, but usually Mason always has a smile on his face. He was in my unit when I was the junior unit leader, and his name came up with all 4 of the WLCS awards that session. He might have, did you bring home one of them that year? Yeah, okay. Very nonchalantly, yes. He's just a great kid. Everything that he does with enthusiasm. He never complains about anything. He's the sort of kid that when the counselors are looking over who is in their cabins at the beginning of each session, that they get really excited to have him in their cabins. I know Caruso felt that way this session. He was very excited. It's just a phenomenal camper to have. Excited to have him around for another 5 years, and then one day, on that staff list. So, Mason, another 5.
Congratulations. boys. Because the next category is men. Bill Larry Men, 10 years. We have a couple of people entering that special community tonight. And what they will be taking home with them is another patch, slightly bigger, bulkier, fancier frame. And the patch says Bill Larry Men. In this case, instead of a t-shirt, they got a nice polo shirt. Look at that collar. It says Bill Larry Man. Yep. Spare a nickel on that one. And most importantly, when you become a Bill Larry Man, you get this really nice Leatherman wave, and obviously a multi-tool. And it's not just any multi-tool, folks, because on it, it says the person's name, it has the camp logo, and it says Bill Larry Man with the camp logo on it. So, first of all, PK.
All right, well, Joe Caruso, come on down. I first met Joe on the lovely Field of Dreams behind us many moons ago. We were raking it for rocks, and Caruso, it was my first year back after I just graduated from college, thinking I was hot stuff. And then Caruso comes up to me and asks me if I'm one of the new LITs. Kicking a guy while he's down. Then Caruso and I became co-counselors in Gillis Cabin that year, and I got to know him on a whole nother level. We went to Walmart and purchased lovely posters for each other. Mindless Behavior probably remembers the name. Of various boy bands. And from there started a relationship where we have relentlessly mocked each other ever since. Me mostly picking on him for being from Greenwich, him just picking on me for the general things that I do daily. Caruso is one of the most loyal people that you will meet. He has your back no matter what. He also is one of the most vocal people in the dining hall. I have heard him this session completely do chants on his own, mostly aimed at Michael Nash. But he will do a one-man chant and make it sound like there's an entire camp behind him, which can be used for either good or ants go marching in. He is embodied the spirit of camp, especially this session with his dining hall antics or performances, depending on your perspective. And I hope that he has many more years to come at this camp, because we can always use someone with that sort of spirit around here. So thank you very much for welcoming me to camp. I'm no longer an LIT.
Gary Lowell, come on down, old friend.
How's your night going, Gary?
Gassed up and ready to go, are you? All right. Can't say enough about this guy. He came here in 2002. It was the year I hired a food service company, and they placed Gary here, and Gary didn't like the food service company, and I didn't like the food service company, and Gary and I liked each other, so he came on board. And I think you did, like, I don't know, 7 years running or so, and then you took a year off, or 2 years off, because there were a couple of horror shows in your absence. Yes. I can tell you that. And then took the last 2 years off and comes back finally in 2015 in his 10th year. Gary has been the most amazing cook since he started here. The food has always been spectacular. There's always been plentiful. It's always been on time. He runs a great budget on the food service. He's been a character as well, you know, really part of the fabric of the community. And in addition to being such a stalwart in the kitchen and his food service, he's helped out in a lot of other ways. He's the shed we have over there in the ropes course. He built that one September for me. He also redid all the dining hall tables. He's actually a carpenter by trade as well. He's a man of many, many talents. And you guys, isn't it great to have him back? Gary, no question that your efforts here, your presence here is extraordinarily valued. Your 10 years, and hopefully, maybe someday, you and I will retire together here. Try to get another 10 years out of him, maybe. But from Hancock, New Hampshire, he came here with Tanisha. I think you were 14 when you first came here. Is that about right?
Yeah, about, yeah, when that first started, yeah.
Yeah, and Isis was like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
So to some extent, Gary's family has grown up here too. And so it's a very important part of the camp. I'm very pleased to give you your 10-year Bill Larry Men paraphernalia. Thank you very much. All of us? Yeah, all of us. All the Bill Larry Men. So another thing is Gary's flexibility. I mean, we ran out of propane. We were supposed to have banquet at 6, and we're going to have banquet in a little while, thanks to Gary's flexibility and willingness to always be there to help us. All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
I'd like to thank the staff and the LI team, especially you guys, made this year a lot smoother.
Ladies and gentlemen. All right, way back in the day, there was another summer camp here before we moved to this campus. It was called Camp Top Knoll. So we share a little bit of a background with them, and they have the Philpott family that was the owners and operators of Camp Top Knoll have kept in touch with William Lawrence Camp over the years, and they had a special award that they gave out. Camp Top Knoll, the letter CK. They used to call them the Sakelians, and they always would acknowledge a camper that a first-year camper that you knew just kind of really got camp and really enjoyed camp in every respect, socially, from activity-wise. And so we have adopted this as of last year, the Sakelian Award. And it is basically goes to the first-year camper who enters into the true spirit of all camp activities in every respect as judged by his counselors. This year, welcome to our community, I think for a very long time to come. The winner of the Sakelian Award is Mr. Nate Collins. Future Bill Larry Man right there. All right. See what's falling out of my pockets here. If I could have Goose and the unit leaders, come on down.
The next set of awards that we're going to be giving out are the WLCS awards. We've asked the unit leaders to come down and join us in the presentation of this. These are some of the most honored awards in camp, and they represent the 4 cornerstones. At William Lawrence, our mission statement as well as our slogan is building character since 1913. They're not just words, but a way of life. We teach many life skills at William Lawrence, and each is tempered with the 4 cornerstones of our camp philosophy of WLCS. This stands for willingness, loyalty, comradeship, sportsmanship, nicknamed the William Lawrence Camp Spirit. Each activity, each game, each experience is WLCS woven in. To celebrate these ideals, every year we select campers from each unit whom best represent each of them. The first award is willingness. When asked for a volunteer, the willing boy steps forward. He performs any task with enthusiasm, not with half-heartedness. He devotes himself to the task and sees it through to its end and encourages others to do the same. At William Lawrence, willingness is the first cornerstone of WLCS. The leaders we strive to create meet every challenge with willingness. We encourage each camper to approach their lives and everything they do with joy, excitement, and dedication. The Willingness Award is given to that camper who best embodies this philosophy in their lives here at camp. Present the Willingness Award for the junior unit, Mr. Tom Cleary.
For the junior unit, the Willingness Award is going to a camper who's just happy-go-lucky. Like Goose said, he goes with enjoyment and excitement to every aspect of his life. This is a kid who I don't think knows how to complain. He's got an infectious smile, and his willingness has made him a favorite of the staff. Can I get Ray Lamline down here?
Taking a photo. You want to get a photo? Next up for the Willingness Award for the Midler unit, Mr. Jamie McDonough.
Ray, stay down.
Ray, stay down.
This kid in the Midler unit, he is enthusiastic to say the least. He meets any activity with the utmost excitement, and he's always got a smile on his face. He always helps out during inspection, and I'm pretty sure he's never said the word no. Can I have Jesse Putney down here?
And for the senior unit Willingness Award, Mr. Coulter Peterson.
Yeah, cool.
All right, I'm sure as soon as I say this name, it's gonna be no surprise to anyone. This guy is really, really willing. One day I was down to the senior unit wayside doing a sweep because it needed it. He walks in, sees me, says, "Coulter, you shouldn't be doing that. Give me the broom." And Lyle Tingle, come on down.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you, though. Loyalty is standing by your friends, family, and principles, even when it might be unpopular to do so. Loyalty can often be socially demanding and requires stamina. But without loyalty, a person may go through life with no allies. Loyalty to one's ideals is also important. To thine own self be true. If you change yourself to please the group, eventually you will have no identity. At camp, loyalty is the second cornerstone of WLCS. Loyal and true are the boys of white and blue. The Loyalty Award is given to the camper who best exemplifies this. Once again, for the junior unit, Mr. Tom Curry.
Okay, the Loyalty Award for the junior unit is going to a guy who's never afraid to stick to his guns. He doesn't need the approval of the people around him. He only needs that the activity he's partaking in is fulfilling for him and that it doesn't harm people around him. He's got two brothers here who I've seen him show fierce loyalty to. And although he might not have the most friends in the unit, those who are lucky enough to call him their friend know that they are lucky. Can I get John DePlacido down here?
For the Midler Unit Loyalty Award, Jamie McDonough.
This camper wholeheartedly embodies loyalty. He has the support of his cabin, he has the support of the unit, he has the support of the camp because he is part of the backbone itself. He's good with his friends, he's good with the staff, and he sticks, just like Tom said, sticks to his guns. Can I have Malcolm Rennie down here?
loyal to his camp. Most importantly, he's loyal to himself. He's probably the most loyal guy I know, Brendan Baker.
Right over here.
Yeah, Brandon.
Well done, guys. Congratulations. Comradeship is our way of honoring friendship. It's true that comradeship means being a friend to both friend and stranger by making him laugh, making him smile, and bringing cheer to where there was previously none. However, comradeship moves beyond being kind to your buddy. When a man has wronged another, cheated, or sent himself down the wrong path, a true friend will step in and tell him, "You are in the wrong. You need to make it right, and I want to help you." Sometimes the people we dislike most are the ones who need our friendship. At William Lawrence Camp, comradeship is our third cornerstone. At camp, we celebrate random acts of kindness to our family members and those who attempt to be a friend to all. The Comradeship Award is given to the camper in each unit who exemplifies this ideal. Once again, Mr. Tom Cleary.
Okay, the comradeship for the junior unit is going to a kid who is often described, mostly by others, but sometimes by himself, as the man. I've never met someone that he could not befriend, that he could not make smile, and that is because his natural reaction when he meets someone he doesn't know is instant kindness. Not just the kind of niceness that you show somebody to be polite, but real, deep, meaningful kindness. Can I get Parker Lamone down here?
Yeah, Parker.
Sit down here.
For the Midler unit, Mr. Jamie McDonough, come on down.
This kid can usually be seen sporting a baseball cap, typically backwards, and behind him are usually a band of brothers that he calls friends. He definitely entirely embodies the Comradeship Award. Can I have Mason Zimmerman down here?
For the senior unit, Mr. Coulter Peterson.
Alright, this guy, he hasn't been here the longest, but as soon as he got here, he's friends with everyone. This year, I think I've seen him hanging out with pretty much every cabin in the senior unit. He's definitely friends with everyone. Can I get Cesar Panila down here?
Okay, all three of you, come on up. Stand right next to each other. Thanks. Okay, all right. Good. You got it? Okay, calm down. We're good. All right. Congratulations, guys. Sportsmanship in the game is playing your hardest. The sportsman plays fair, plays for the enjoyment of the game with enthusiasm and vigor. When things don't go his way, the sportsman accepts it and moves on. At the end of the game, win or lose, the good sport congratulates the other team and thanks them for the competition they gave that day. However, sportsmanship only just begins when you step off the field. Sportsmanship in life is following the golden rule. Do unto others as you wish others do unto you. As in this world, we are all on the same team. Sportsmanship is our fourth WLCS cornerstone. At camp, the only person you truly play against is yourself. The Sportsmanship Award goes to that camper who understands that the game is not played for the outcome, but for the journey. Once again, to the junior unit, John Cleary.
The Sportsmanship Award for the junior unit was pretty quickly decided on. When I asked the staff who they thought should win sportsmanship, this guy came up right away. He doesn't care if he wins the game or loses the game. He's there for the fun of the game, and but it's not only when he's playing games. He's a good sport about everything. He's really good at taking a joke, and he's always quick to laugh at himself. Can I get Jason Zhao down here?
Once again, for the Midler unit, Mr. Jamie McDonough.
This kid's kind of the sleeper pick. He's not always the loudest during a game, but he usually makes the most noise. He always has a smile on his face, and he's always fully engaged, whether it's an EP or a bra game. Can I have Mitch Hoyt down here?
And last but not least, Mr. Coulter Peterson for the senior unit.
All right, play a lot of games year-round camp, no matter what. This guy's always involved. He's always happy to play. And when the game's over, he still just had a great time. It's not just during games, though. It's always around the unit. Always has a smile on his face. Always being a good sport. Okay, Shui Yu Ding down here, please.
Come on up. Thank you, guys.
All right, congratulations, guys. All right, would the Guardian of the Honor Society please come before the assembly?
Becoming a member of the Honor Society, the highest honor that one can achieve here at William Lawrence Camp. It encompasses everything that this camp has to offer, from swimming and boating, archery and riflery, first aid, and much more. In order to join the ranks of the woodsmen, you must pass 18 tests, the first 13 of which must be completed before the final 5 can be attempted. This year, we have implemented benchmarks along the way, the first of which is a Pathfinder. A Pathfinder is anyone that has completed 9 out of the first 13 tests at the Pathfinder level. The second benchmark is Trailblazer, which means that the first 13 tests have been 100% completed. This session, we have 3 campers that have achieved Pathfinder. could those three come forward? They are Chili Crane, Eli Brown, and Dan McGee. So far, these three campers have exemplified everything that William Lawrence Camp Spirit stands for: willingness, loyalty, comradeship, and sportsmanship. We hope that the three of you continue on to be trailblazers and one day, maybe even woodsmen. Here's your pouch, Chili. Congratulations. Congratulations, Dan. Congratulations. Have a round of applause, please. Woodsmen, assemble! This session, one member of our community will join the ranks of the woodsmen. This session, he has cut down a tree into 10 axe lengths and quartered those axe lengths. He has given a password in front of the entire camp, passed a character test, prepared a campsite, and built a fire. And with no more than 2 matches, he lit that fire, stayed up all night, and tended to the fire until reveille the next morning. Will Tommy Wilkinson please step forward? Paint you red for courage, white for purity, and blue for honor. First, we'll give you your shirt. Your buck knife. And finally, your Pathfinder patch, your Trailblazer patch, your Woodsman patch, and your Honor Society patch. Please give Tommy a round of applause.
All right, we're going to move on to the candlelight part of our gathering this evening. Would all those giving a password please come on down? Come on down. All right, some of the staff would like to share some of their thoughts about camp and the session. And we'll start off with Mr. David Swan.
Hello, everybody. My name's David. This is my 7th year here. My first year on staff. Part of the LIT group this year. We're a great group of kids, all hardworking, and that's what I'd like to talk about. We have a very good group of LITs because we try very hard at everything we do here. Whatever it is, we all do our best, whether it be from sailing, riflery, anything really. We put our best foot forward, and we always try our hardest at all the activities we do here. That's why I've been told we've been a great LIT group. Done a lot at this camp. Do a lot of the hard work here, and we're more than glad to do all of it. But I'm here not just to talk about camp, but after camp I believe everyone should try their hardest at all they like to do, and all the activities and everything they encompass in life, because it not only will make you happier, but it'll make you respected by anyone who's above you, people will look up to you. It'll make it a lot easier in life. Life doesn't just come with talent or how smart you are. You have to put a lot of hard work in too. And I believe you should put a lot of hard work into that, not only the activities you love, but the activities you're talented at and you're smart at. I always try and do my best at all the things I love to do. I encourage all of you to go home and try and work your hardest at everything you can.
Jake Silverman.
Good evening, guys. A common question thrown around camp is the glass half empty or is it half full? Which is a question of whether you are an optimist or a pessimist. And we like to think of ourselves as glass half full people. I think it's fair to say that we've had a really great session this year, had a lot of fun, and I think it'd be kind of difficult to find positive things about leaving camp. I think all of us are going to miss this place, and that might not hit you right away. It might be that you're pulling out tomorrow and you realize that how sad you are that you're missing this place. Or maybe it's like me, you're getting home and you realize you have to make your own food again, but instead of having it prepared for you. But instead of being sad about leaving this place, let's be happy for all the good times that we've had here. And let's look forward to coming back again and again and again.
Okay, Will Silverman.
Hi guys, I'm Will. This is my 8th year here, and I came when I was 9 years old. My password is appreciate camp. When I came here, I didn't really get it. My world had fallen apart. I was homesick, and I didn't really know how to appreciate what this camp had to offer. And I kept coming back for a couple of years, and for my 3rd, I was sitting in the chapel with my friend Tim, and we started singing Kumbaya, and he started crying, and I said, "What's wrong?" And he looked at me and he said, "I don't want to go home." And I think it was then that I realized this place is special. This is a place where you can be you can stand up, you can yell a chant, and it's become a second home for me. Have a great office.
There are a few things that I find annoying, but ambivalence is one of them. I think that camp teaches people how to choose. We're given a list of every activity here, and kids are able to make decisions. And I think people aren't afraid to change; they're afraid to choose. I think outside decisions are much more difficult. You don't have a list of activities to choose. It's like the cliche goes, the world is your oyster, so you have to shuck it.
Alex Camarino.
Many of you guys know I'm a pretty outdoorsy person. Probably has something to do why I organize all the trips. But when I'm spending a lot of time up at the tripping shed, many of you know in the outside shed where all the paddles and life jackets are, there's a poem written on the wall from when that shed used to be the old Shaw CQ. And I want to read you that poem because I think it kind of defines my life pretty well. It goes, "Give me a cabin in the woods where not a human soul intrudes, where I can sit beside a stream beneath the balsam bough and dream, and every morning see arise the sun-like bird of paradise. Then go down to the creek and fish a speckled trout for breakfast dish, and fry it on an ember fire. Ah, there's the life of my desire." What I want you guys to take away from camp is that even though coming into camp some of you might have been afraid of the outdoors, I encourage you in the off season to do something in the outdoors, go exploring, maybe do a couple more hikes, spend some more time outside, and enjoy the world around you. Have a great off season.
And Bullet.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ann, business manager. This is my 9th year. I originally wasn't going to give a password tonight because I gave one first session. But my password tonight is called "Don't Forget to Look Up." I think it was about Monday or Tuesday of this week. It could have been late last week. But I was walking to my car. It was very dark. And I was busy thinking about the things I had done and the things I had left undone and what I needed to do the next day. And I ran into a guy that I've known for several years as a camper, and he's a good friend. He's now in LIT. And he said to me, "Have you seen the stars tonight?" And I looked up, and it was glorious. All sorts of constellations we pointed out together. The Milky Way, it was lovely. And this special experience stayed with me all evening. And that got me to thinking about the fact that too often out in the quote-unquote real world, we can get very attached to our task list, our cell phone, our notebook, whatever. So I encourage you to make sure to take time every day to crawl out of that task list, that cell phone, that computer, look a friend in the eye and truly smile and be glad that you see him. Enjoy that meal that you're eating. Say hello or even "I love you" to a family member, and don't forget to look up. Have a great off season. See you next year.
Ryan Pitcairn.
I just wanted to say congratulations to all of you on completing the second session of the 2015 season. Now it's up to you to determine what that means to you. Each one of you has had your own unique experience that I will not try to put a blanket statement out and say exactly what that experience was. But that's something that you're going to have to think about over the next days and weeks and months. is what did this experience mean to you? How can you take this experience and use it to make you be a better person? And that's kind of the challenge. That's not kind of, that is the challenge that I give to you guys until next year. Thank you.
Jim Bullitt.
So, whenever I come here sometimes on the off season for a day here or there, and the place is empty, by and large, except for a couple of people in the farmhouse. Then, starting beginning of June, some of the staff starts trickling in. End of June, the first session campers come, and it's very active. You have people all over. The dining hall is really rocking. Then comes second session, and then comes the end of the season, and the place becomes empty again. This camp is basically nothing without you. It really rocks. It's enjoyable. You listen to you laughing, having fun, all the EPs, making new friends. Just over the year, you're all now going home. You're going to have 8, 9, 10 months to think about this place. Remember the friends you made, the things that you've done. What can you do next year to expand yourself? And, just think about the place. Remember the fun times you have here, the fantastic views. Talk to your friends. Maybe some of them would love to come to experience what you have. And I've always enjoyed it when the people are here. It's great getting to know all of you, or many of you, the staff. Have a great off season.
Scott Giesler.
Doing candlelight ceremonies for a lot of years, and I got to tell you, for the majority of them, I didn't realize that I was missing the point. So a couple of years ago, when I heard a speaker, which I know some of the staff has heard too, because I subjected him to the videos. And what I never really knew was that this candlelight ceremony really, in a way, is about power. And it works like this. When we're young, we sort of misunderstand power. I share a cabin with 7 other kids, and somebody starts making fun of me. And my knee-jerk reaction is, well, if I make fun of somebody else, the heat comes off of me, and I get my power back. And we see that a lot. And I'm sad to say, even here too. Not often, but sometimes. And it really comes from a misunderstanding of power, as demonstrated by this candlelight ceremony. Power, its best analogy is a candle. I have a candle here that's lit, and I will look to the front row, and theirs is not. And I have the ability to take this flame and walk over here to Nate and light his candle. And when I step away, my candle is still lit. I have the ability to take some of my power and give it to Nate, or to Kevin, or to Elliot. I have that ability, and it does not diminish my power in the process. We will do this as an act together in symbol that we will pass our power along to you, and nobody will be less after we're done. We will all be more than we were before. That is the lesson I am hoping that you will take home with you as you go back to your schools, colleges, wherever you go, remembering that the person that is struggling, all you need to do is give them a little bit of power, give them that boost, become their friend, Give them a smile. Do something positive for them. Lift their day. And both of you will have a lit candle. Have a great off-season.
Thank you, Goose. As is tradition, we will close out our candlelight ceremony singing Kumbaya, singing, laughing, praying.
Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Someone singing, my Lord, Kumbaya. Someone singing, my Lord, Kumbaya. Someone singing, my Lord, Kumbaya. Oh Lord, Kumbaya. Someone's laughing, my Lord, Kumbaya. Someone's laughing, my Lord, Kumbaya. Someone's laughing, my Lord, Kumbaya. Oh Lord, Kumbaya. Someone's praying, my Lord, Kumbaya. Someone's praying, my Lord, Kumbaya. Someone's praying, my Lord, Kumbaya. Oh Lord, Kumbaya.
You are welcome to take your candles with you. We encourage you to, and we also, as another camp tradition, if you light your candle on Christmas Eve, sort of rekindle your memories of the summer that you've had and the summers to come at camp. We also have a fun gathering on January 8th this year in Newton, Massachusetts. We've been doing this for many years at a school where there's a basketball court, and we have cake and pizza and Goose's video of the summertime, and it's always a fun chance to regroup. We are going to leave the chapel tonight, and put your candles out as you leave the chapel, please. And campers, we will be lining up in front of the dining hall for our belated banquet, which will be followed by cabin parties. Do not fret, we are not eliminating cabins. And parents and guests, we will see you tomorrow morning between 9 and 11. Thank you very much for joining us. All right, everybody to the dining hall, please.